Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Boiling Point Podcast. This is episode 133, and we're going to be talking about men's health and fitness. We're going to be talking about physical health, mental health, and spiritual health in this episode. And I brought on a full panel with me to discuss this. Let's start first with the newest member of the Boiling Point Podcast. He is in the top right of your corner, the other JD, whose new series, God's My Story, will be coming out on Tuesday, June 23rd, will be its official debut. So make sure you all look for that. JD, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's absolutely my pleasure to be here.
And from my favorite show, Popcorn and Whiskey, representing Top Fitness Strategies, Andrew Poletto.
Hello, guys. Hello, audience. Hello, everybody. It's going to be fun. We're going to talk health and fitness for the guys. That's what I'm all about.
Absolutely. And make sure you go check him out. He's on YouTube and Facebook as well. The links are all available in the description of this video. And our returning champion, who is a senior producer with the Boiling Point Podcast and our senior faith correspondent, Pastor Gavin Whitcomb Sr.
Good evening. Hey, good to be with you guys.
Absolutely. I've been excited about this episode since I figured out we wanted to do it about 6 weeks ago, and it took a minute to get everybody on the same schedule, and I'm glad that we finally done that. If I don't say anything else in this episode, I'm completely fine with that. So I'm going to plug some things, and then we're going to get started. So Marcus Frederiksen does the music. He plays us in and out of every episode. Make sure you go check him out, reverbnation.com/Marcus Frederiksen. And, of course, the storefront. The other JD doesn't have a T-shirt, and I haven't been able to send one to Andrew yet. But Pastor Gavin and I are matching twins today. We're wearing the same design. So go pick it up from our storefront. Bonfire.com/store/the Boiling Point Podcast and pick up some apparel. All right, guys. So let's start with the physical health side of things, and for that I'm going to throw it to you, Andrew, and then as we get into the diet and everything else that I'm sure he's going to touch on, then we'll open it up to everybody else here. So Andrew, starting with the physical health, what do you tell us your initial thoughts on that? Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I focus on the men over 50 years old. That's who I focus on, and a lot of the guys I deal with are former athletes, high school or college athletes, me being one of them. And the older we get, the more out of shape we get because we're no longer doing what we used to do. Well, not all of us, a lot of guys. And so then one day they wake up and say, hey, look, it looks like I gained 40 or 50 pounds since my high school and college days. Maybe I need to start working out again. The only thing that they know how to do workout-wise is what they did back in the day. That's it. And it's not a fault of their own. They just haven't done it. So they're assuming that their 40, 45, 50-year-old plus body can do the same things that their 18, 21, 25-year-old body used to do. Guys, I'm telling you, not right away. Maybe you could work up to it, but I mean, if you used to bench press, 225, 250, you're not going to bench press 225, 250. You've never done it before, and since then, it's not going to do it. So the first thing they have to do, in my opinion, again, everything's my opinion here, they have to change their mentality, say, okay, I am not the superstar athlete I used to be, the athlete I used to be. Maybe, just maybe, there might be somebody out there that knows a little bit more what I have than I do. So that's where I come into play. I try to get them into the right mentality of understanding where they are now versus where they were then. I mean, everything else in their life has changed. Now they probably have a family. Their finances have changed. Their location where they live has changed. Their vehicles have changed. Everything in their entire life has changed. But they want to do their health and fitness the way they used to. It just doesn't work that way, guys. Keep that in mind.
All right. And let's talk about the diet then, the change in diet from because I was just thinking about this before the episode today. Let's go to the other JD because you just changed your diet, and you're on your show that we're doing, the ongoing series, God's My Story. Your diet is a big part of what changed your life. So how important is your diet in reference to physical health?
Food is medication, and it is absolutely everything when it comes to health. And here's why. This was me, 199 pounds. I'm 5'9". I should not weigh that much. December 19th, 2023, I suffered a widowmaker 99% blockage for over 3 hours before the hospital figured out what was going on. December 20th, I watched a video from Dr. Ken Berry. Well, I actually watched a number of these videos laying in the hospital about the carnivore style of eating. December 22nd, I went carnivore. Beef, butter, bacon, eggs, spring water. And I've dropped close to 40 pounds. I haven't seen a gym in over 30 years. Dropped close to 40 pounds. I am on no medications whatsoever, and every doctor in the world will tell you I should be dead. My cardiologist even told me I should have died 2 years ago. But he told me twice this year alone, he can't fix perfect. I did have to have heart surgery on May 15th of this year because my heart was short-circuiting. It wasn't because of my diet. It was because of all the stress and anxiety that I've been dealing with in my life. When the surgeon was done and comes into my room, he says, Jason, your heart is so clean. Whatever you're doing for a diet, keep it up. Literally, it's been beef, butter, bacon, eggs, spring water, and everything about my life, my health, my mental clarity is phenomenal. I'm able to remember things more now than I can ever remember being able to remember so much. So 100%, if you're not putting the right stuff in, you're not going to get the right stuff out. Your body's not going to give you the results that you want. So health is everything. The food you put in your body is everything.
Pastor Gavin, you just had to change your diet also because you have diabetes, and you radically changed your diet after that diagnosis as well. So
Yeah, that was like about 16 years ago. But from eating a low carb diet and trying to move and exercise, I've been able to control it pretty well.
So we're talking. We got food, and all three of you guys are doing a little bit different stuff. So how important is it now? The other JD, you said you don't go to a gym, but I know that with your work and stuff, you're an active person. You move around a lot. You're not unhealthy. You're not sitting on the couch all day watching TV.
Right, but December 4th, 2024, I survived. I say a fatal car accident because the people in the post office, they were told the driver didn't survive. Well, I'm still here. I survived. I have not been able to work since. So for me to say I lost this weight by doing this, that, or the other thing, anything other than changing my diet would be an absolute lie.
I got you.
I got a question. Not a question statement, but Dr. Ken Berry, who had type 2 diabetes, when he went on the carnivore style of living, his body, which is designed to fix itself, he no longer has type 2 diabetes. He's on no prescription drugs of any kind either. Because what I have learned over the couple of years in the research that I've been doing is you don't get sick because you're old. You don't get sick, because you're old. You get sick because there's something in your body that doesn't belong. And you don't get cancer. You don't get these diseases unless you're not eating properly. If you're eating unhealthy garbage, that's what you're going to get. Your body's not going to do well.
Yeah. Andrew, let me throw it to you now with the physical side. We talked about food and stuff, but how important is it to at least stay active in some way?
Well, it's extremely important to stay active. I mean, your body was designed to move. Your body was designed to push, to pull, to bend, to lift, to run, to walk, to crawl. It's designed to move. The human body is designed to move. Whether it's someone like me who works out at home, or someone like you, JD, who's in a wheelchair, you still can move your body in different ways, right?
Okay, I want to clear something. I'm not in a wheelchair.
Not the other JD, not you, JD.
Okay, I got
the
you.
JD who's in the wheelchair.
Listen. For the sake of this conversation, the other JD, we're at least as a community here, we're going to call him Jason, just so we don't get confused.
Okay.
But I also do physical therapy.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say,
since going to that, I can tell you that it wasn't just my diet. I have changed my diet too since we started the series with the other JD and Pastor Gavin, and I actually thought to myself,
not the other JD, but
yeah, Jason. With Jason and Pastor. Yeah, I just said it and I messed
He
up.
can
How
say
about
the
that?
other JD.
Yeah, I can. I'm the host.
Jason, change your name on your thing there. Make it Jason.
I think physical therapy has been very important too. I've been noticing my stamina and my strength getting a lot better as well, as a result of physical therapy. Pastor Gavin, do you go work out too, don't you? From time, I don't know how often you do it.
Well, no, I try to, I stretch, at home and stuff, but I try to get my exercise by like working and doing tasks like cutting the grass. Like I won't get a riding mower. I purposely have the push kind so that I walk.
Nice.
And, when I do building and remodeling on the side, there's a lot of exercise with that, especially if I'm working on the second floor.
Yeah.
I'm going up and down stairs to go to the truck to get another tool or whatever. So, I've shunned sedentary living. So I don't so much work out at a gym anymore. When my son was growing up in high school, I did, so that's something we could do together. But,
yeah, I've framed houses for 30 couple years. That was my gym. But even then, you seen what I looked like. I was fat.
Yeah.
So all I did was change what I put in my body.
Yeah. Yep. So it's a combination, I guess, movement and the right nutrition. Right, Andrew?
Definitely. I do walk a lot because I got multiple surgeries coming up, and if I'm not, I hurt. So I literally stay moving all the time. I'm either moving or laying down. I can't even sit right now. So I do move. I do stay active that way, but that's about as active as I can get right now.
Well, I'll tell you, the of the four of us on here, I probably have the worst diet. And I'm not saying my diet is bad. I probably have the worst diet for the four of us here. But when it comes to physical activity, I probably have the best of the four of us here, physical activity. I mean, I'm doing workouts every morning, whether it's a yoga workout. Yes, I do yoga, or a body weight or weight workout. I do that. My upper half, and it's not a bragging thing. It's just part of it. It's just life.
Yeah.
I'm pretty beefy and buff up top, but I do have a gut. Have I looked at cleaning up my diet? Yeah. But do I do all the things that I preach to tell guys? Not everything. No. Like JD said at the beginning, I do a podcast called Popcorn and Whiskey. Do I consume alcohol? Yeah. A lot? No, but I do. And that's just who I am. And am I happy with having a gut, doing what I do? No. And I know I'm the only one that can change that. Should I go carnivore? Probably. Should I go vegan? Probably not. I couldn't stand being a vegan. But on my podcast, my video podcast, I've interviewed folks who are on the carnivore diet, on the low fat, high protein diet, the raw food diet, and I can honestly tell you, I can debate on each one of them, the pros and the cons with each one of them. And once again, it's not a bragging thing, it's just because of the people I deal with. Yeah. So my thing is, when it comes to diet, I don't believe there's one perfect diet for anybody out there. Let me take that back. All diets are good if they're followed correctly, in my opinion. So the perfect diet for an individual is the healthy diet, I should say, that you will follow. It's simple as that. For instance, if you do the carnivore diet, and I'm only bringing carnivore, Jason, because you talked about it. If somebody does not like the taste of beef or eggs or bacon or anything like that, they're not going to stick with it. So they got to find something that is healthy for them that they're going to stick with it.
I'd say it really would depend on their mental state and how desperate they want to change. Mm-hmm. Now, I read the Bible. I know the Bible pretty well. And I know in the beginning, now this is what I believe. In the Garden of Eden, God gave Adam and Eve all seed-bearing plants and trees with fruit and seed in them. Mm-hmm. Anybody eats like that now, they're a vegetarian, right? So I believe the original plan was for us to be vegetarians. Then the fall of man, and Peter had the vision of the sheep being let down, and God explained everything we were supposed to eat, what we were okay to eat. That's the carnivore diet. It literally is. So I see it as a biblical way of living also, because for me to, in my mind, to prepare for my death, I want to be as healthy as I can for the rest of my life, so my family doesn't have to watch me die of some disgusting disease.
Good for you.
I'm at 162 pounds right now. I have almost no fat on my body whatsoever. And literally, I'm in the best shape of my life, even above and beyond when I was in the military. When I was working out, I have never been like this. And I'm 53 years old. And my heart is clean. So I believe this diet would work for everybody, but most people won't even consider it. I had a gentleman told me today, he said we won't even discuss it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
right, and it goes back to what I just said, and I'm not being a confrontational or debating here, but like you just said, you believe this diet will work for anybody, and I truly do as well. I can also truly tell you that if you want to be a raw food guy, which on the surface people don't understand what raw food is. I've interviewed one of the leading experts in the world about it several years ago, and I still follow the guy, and it's unbelievable what he says. He talks a lot like you do, Jason, but he doesn't have any kind of meat whatsoever, and it's beyond being the vegetarian. So he can say the same thing, and again, he does say this. He says, not everybody agrees with my eating habits or my dietary habits. For me, they work great, and this is what I like. And he can also quote scripture and different things about that as well.
Sure.
And I'm not saying who's right or who's wrong.
No,
the bottom line is, if there's a healthy diet for somebody out there, they need to follow it. The best healthy diet to do is the one that you will do.
I guess my question would be, what would the definition of healthy be? Because we're the only species in the world that will grow our crops and spray it with massive toxic chemicals to keep the animals from eating it and then go eating it. There is nothing healthy about that whatsoever. Farm-raised fish, there's nothing healthy about that. All the toxins, because you wouldn't eat the fish food, but you're going to eat the fish. They ate the food, so it runs into the same problem. So
I think that goes too. I think that goes too, though. But because you're talking about spraying a field with pesticides and stuff, that's definitely more of like a modern problem than they had dealt with in the past, though. So that's definitely
right. Well, we're talking about now. So how can that be healthy if it's sprayed with toxic chemicals that they got to put suits on, special suits to spray it all over your food?
My counter argument to that is they grow their own stuff.
No, so that's that. But then take tomatoes, for example, they have what's in them is known as a lectin. They have points on both ends of them. When they're passing through your intestines, they literally poke holes in your intestines. It's a self-defense mechanism of the tomato, is to keep things from eating it. Now, do we recognize that that's what's going on? No, but then we're getting sick and this, that, and the other thing. Oh, now I got irritable bowel syndrome or all these other problems. And it absolutely comes from the food, or fake food, I will say, that people put in their bodies. Walk into a grocery store, the way I see it, beef, butter, bacon, eggs, everything else is a bunch of things made with a ton of chemicals to look like something good. Tastes amazing. I ate it for years, but it almost killed me. So that's why I won't ever eat any other way.
Yeah. Pastor Gavin, let's talk about changing your diet and how some people are going to find that more difficult than others.
Yeah. Well, there's certain general guidelines to like health and nutrition that I would think of. One is like, we should be more concerned with our health span than our lifespan. In other words, not so much, I want to live to be 100 years old, but while I'm alive, I want to be strong and healthy.
Absolutely.
And, so that's what we're after. And we do know this, that whole foods, the more whole and the more fresh they are, would be better than, highly processed foods and foods that are heavily laden with chemicals. And so there are some things that you can do to minimize the bad effect of certain things that are added to our food. For example, like strawberries they're heavily, from what I understand, coated with pesticides. But if you soak them in a mixture of vinegar and water, I've also heard that baking soda and water, that there's something about that deactivates the pesticides. Then you rinse them off, and then they're safe to eat. There are other foods like I eat largely meat and eggs, but I do eat some plants too. And one thing I like to eat are avocados. You can peel. You don't eat the skin, so as far as I'm concerned, the pesticides don't get through that skin. So there's some foods that are more impervious to those impurities than others, but the highly processed foods that are really high in carbohydrates and low in nutrients, and they're designed to give us a longer shelf life. There's no doubt that has some bad effects on our health, and so we should try to go after whole foods. I would say meat and so forth, but the plant foods, whole foods, instead of highly processed foods.
The biggest problem with the processed foods is the Food and Drug Administration. They're selling you the stuff that's making you sick, and then they're giving you the drugs to manage your symptoms. They're making money hand over fist, and that's an evil that is just should not exist.
Yeah, it is true that there are some who profit from people's misery and illness and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll always say,
yeah.
You go to a doctor, if they were going to prescribe a pill before they're going to check your diet, that's a drug dealer. And I will not ever say it any other way, because you can't be a healthcare physician and not care about the person's actual health and what's causing the problems.
I do believe in trying to find out what's the root cause of my health problem, rather than just, giving a drug to address the symptoms. Now, I believe there is a place for some drugs, with certain conditions. Sometimes people need them, but, what's wrong with trying to get to the actual root cause of the problem?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say majority of the time, probably 99% of the time, it'll go back to the diet. Your stomach is your second brain. It really is. And if you're not putting healthy stuff in, you're not going to get anything out that's going to be healthy. And I'm tired of seeing my friends and family die, and it's just not right. Now, Pascal, here's a good one. I met with a pastor the other day, and he said to me, and I'm glad he did, when two people join in marriage, they get together, they're saying to each other, I want you to take care of me when I'm old and can't take care of myself anymore. And which is a good thing, but what they need to do is do their best to take care of themselves as healthy as possible now, so that when they are older and can't take care of themselves, they're not 400 pounds, sick all the time, constantly 24/7 care. That's not taking care of. That's just babysitting them till they die. I'm very thankful for my dad, because I have a pretty good belief that I'm not going to die of any of those diseases. Clear, the heart attack ain't happened. That didn't take me out. Stroke, all that stuff is caused by the diet. And I'm going to live long and healthy to do what God asked me to do. And that, I think, should be everybody's plan. Well, that'd be nice.
Well, I don't want to get old and be a burden to anyone. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
To where they have to take care of me, and I can't walk.
Right.
And so, I want to stay fit all my life.
Me too.
That's my goal.
Yeah, me too. Being in a wheelchair, I can tell you that, especially now that I've started getting older, that's like prevalent in my mind, that I need to stay as healthy as I can for as long as I can, because if not, I know I've seen where I'm going to go, and I don't want that. So
I like having you on there, Pastor Gavin, because I forget what the verse is, but it's, don't you know your body's the temple of the Holy Spirit who lives in you? You are not your own. Therefore, glorify God in your body and spirit. And I think the reason that it's like that, the soul's going to live forever, but the body's not. So all the more reason, take care of it as best as we can now, so we live a long, healthy, happy, full life. You can't do that if you're sick and on prescription drugs. You'll never be clear-minded. But then also in 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verses 16 and 17, the short version is, God said, if you destroy the temple of the Holy Spirit, which you are, I'm going to destroy you. And this is something 3 days ago, I had to bury somebody who died of stage 3 colon cancer. He didn't need to die of colon cancer. You got so much fecal matter stuck in your intestines, and literally it just pollutes the body so bad. And that's one of the ways you end up dying. And that's how the body is destroyed. That's
Pastor Gavin, you had a slideshow with us since we started talking a little bit about spiritual health as well, because that's what I wanted to do, is connect all three of these: physical health, mental health, spiritual health. They're kind of a triangle. They're all three important, and you have to manage all three together.
Yeah. Yes. And so what I'd like to point out with these few verses I share with you is that good spiritual health and trying to live in harmony with God's principles and what he says in his word does contribute to actual physical health. Now, it doesn't mean if you live a good life or a godly life, you'll never get sick. That's not the case. We live in a fallen world, and we're subject to death and disease, and one day we're all going to die. But overall, living God's way has some positive contributions to our health. So if I could just show you here.
Yeah, please.
Proverbs 10:27, the fear of the Lord prolongs days, but the years of the wicked shall be shortened. So there again, to fear God, to have a reverence and a respect for him, wanting to, please him, that tends to lengthen your days, but the years of the wicked shall be shortened. Living a godless life, a lot of times it's easy to see the debauchery and all kinds of things that are bad for you are a part of that. And then there's another passage. It says, be not wise in your own eyes, fear the Lord and depart from evil. It shall be health to your body and strength to your bones. So, what's going on inside of us, in our heart and in our mind, if we have like a trust in God and our conscience is at rest because we're trying to do what's right, that peace and that inner contentment that comes from being rightly related to God, it relieves stress, so you're not as stressful, and it contributes to better health. It'll be health to your body and strength to your bones. Again, it doesn't mean you can never get sick, but it's health enhancing to be rightly related to God and at peace with him. Then in Ephesians 6, it says, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and your mother, which is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with you and you may live long on the earth. And so, there's that promise that your life will be lengthened. And the implication is that it'll be better and healthier if we honor our father and our mother. And then there's some sins that are really hard on the body. One of those would be unrighteous anger. So here in Ephesians 4:26 and 27, be angry and sin not. So, not all anger is sin, but unrighteous anger is not good. And one way that it can be unrighteous is if it's out of control, but another is if it's prolonged anger. For a long time, right? So he says, be angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath. If you're angry about something or ticked off about something, get rid of it before you go to bed. Neither give place to the devil.
Before you switch to the next slide, Pastor, can you go back for a second?
Yep, you bet.
I'm going to give Andrew an opportunity to get involved here a little bit. I don't know how much he was going to get involved with when we got to the spiritual and the scripture side. I'm not saying he's not a believer. I actually don't know what Andrew he believes. I don't know that we've ever had that conversation, Andrew.
No, we never have. I mean, do I practice a lot of religion? No. Am I Catholic? Yes.
Okay.
I say I can kneel and stand and eat the wafer with the best of them. But beyond that, but beyond that, I don't get into the religious aspects and not because I'm against it or anything like that. It's just not something that I've ever
Yeah. Now, but
going that way towards.
would you agree though that anger and your mood can affect your health?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, 1,000%. Absolutely can. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. We now know, and we've known for a long time, that when you do certain things that are morally wrong, like, for example, if you tell a lie, it causes physiological changes in your body. In fact, that's why a lie detector test, a polygraph test, works, because there's a change in the heart rate and the respiration and
Blood pressure.
stress levels when someone lies. I mean, it's just, sin is bad for us,
Yeah.
And so this verse here focuses in particular on anger and unrighteous anger.
If I can interrupt one more time, Pastor, before you move to the next slide, we're getting.
Oh, yeah, and I don't mean to dominate the conversation. Go ahead.
We talked before the show. You said you had a little slideshow here. I don't think anybody minds yielding the floor to you while you go through it, but we got some commenters coming in.
Yeah.
I like to address them to that, so that way, hopefully we maybe get some more people involved in the conversation. So Headlock, Seals, and Havoc stopping in. That's got to be J Mac saying what's up to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
We'll give them a shout out. Go check out Headlock, Seals, and Havoc. They do a lot of wrestling coverage. If you're a pro wrestling fan, go check them out. Pastor, the floor is back to you, buddy.
As you pass, Gavin, real quick, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So the first slide you showed about fearing the Lord. Now that one absolutely goes into play with 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verses 16 and 17.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, I don't want to die of any foul, nasty disease that could have been prevented.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go out that way, and I definitely don't want my family to see it.
Right. Yeah, that's certainly true. I'm with you there. Okay, now
Jason and I wiping our face constantly. It's because it is 85 degrees here in Pennsylvania with a humidity of 90%. So
it's 90 where I'm at.
Yeah, Jason and I are literally, we have sweat pouring off of us. I could wring my shirt out right now. So that's why you keep seeing us wipe our face, because it keeps getting in my eyes too. So
yeah, I had to take a shower twice today, and plus the air conditioning central air went out at my house. So I got a few portable units hooked up to pacify my wife a little bit, but it's not good. Okay, so here in Ephesians, it tells us some things that Scripture tells us that we should put away. Let all bitterness, which means resentment, holding a grudge, and wrath and anger, and clamor. The word clamor means loud yelling that's associated with fighting and bickering. All clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. So malice is like this, you do something with the motive of wanting to hurt or injure somebody else.
With that intent.
Yeah, right. Yep. And he says, and be ye kind one to another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, even as God for Christ's sake hath forgiven you. Now, when the Bible talks about forgiving one another, it's like, remember Jesus in the Lord's Prayer said, forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And this principle of forgiveness, if we do not forgive someone and we harbor bitterness and resentment and have an unforgiving spirit, there's a harmful, detrimental effect on our physical health. I have this textbook by Frank Minirth and Paul Meyer. And about 40 years ago, they had a nationwide radio program. They were Christian medical doctors, but their specialty was psychiatry. And in their textbook, it's a medical Christian psychiatry textbook. They explain in there that when we do not forgive someone and we harbor a grudge against them, that our brain works by, the chemicals in our brain are called amines. And these amines are neurotransmitters that allow signals to, go from place to place in our brain. If we have bitterness and resentment and harbor a grudge and will not forgive, that can actually deplete some of these brain amines so that our brain and nervous system do not function optimally, and it can actually lead to depression. So if we obey God and we forgive one another when they sin against us, when someone poops all over us, we got to forgive them, and if we don't, it's harmful actually to our physical body. Not only, can we lose our sense of peace in our heart, but it's bad for us. So I think I have one more here. Oh, okay. And the way that we treat other people can have an effect on their health. Proverbs 16:24, pleasant words are as a honeycomb, sweet to the soul. So isn't it nice when somebody says something kind to you or pleasant to you? And isn't that how we ought to relate to one another? And,
Yes.
and it's health to the bones. We can actually not only make people feel better, but spiritually and in their mind, but health-wise by speaking pleasant words. And
I hope the parents of the West Shore School District are tuning into this episode.
Yeah, right.
Well, the Bible. Oh, go ahead. I see you got another.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, the Bible's pretty clear. The power of life and death is in the tongue. Mm-hmm. So you can either build somebody up or you can tear them down. So
right. Yep. Good point.
Yeah, that's why I'm always sharing out my friends and you guys and everybody and Andrew, because there's no reason to tear people down. Just, lift each other up. We can all succeed if we do that.
Another thing, when you said about forgiving people, if we're not willing to forgive, we have no expectation of being forgiven.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah, true. Okay, and then here's Proverbs 17:22. A merry heart does good like a medicine. It's actually healthy to laugh and to have a good time, to be merry. I think of Jonathan's grandfather recently went to be with the Lord at the age of 103. And even at the age of 103, he was still walking around. He and his wife lived together in their place, and he was the oldest member of my church. But, I noticed one thing about him. He would laugh a lot. And I no doubt a merry heart does do good like a medicine, but a broken spirit dries the bones. So if somebody is really sad and downhearted and hurt and discouraged, it dries the bones. Exactly what that means. It's not good. There's a physically detrimental effect.
Yeah. If I can speak to my pap too for a second also. Anytime he would even talk about, like, he goes all the way, I mean, he was 103, right? Yeah. So he goes, he went all the way back. But anytime he even talks about hardships or anything, especially during World War II times or during war times or anything, which I believe he did serve at some point, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But he never he never talks about the hardships. His story is always going to would always lead to something funny, something for you to laugh at or something to enjoy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Now I gotta say, I want Pastor Gavin, I really want you to somehow get me those verses. And every one of those verses that you put up there pretty much explains my life since the Widowmaker in 2023. Now, what most people don't know, as of today, I've had 33 medical surgeries, and I have 6 more to go. But I've been living with one of my sons since I've been divorced 5 years ago, unfortunately, and trying to get through the Widowmaker. Well, in the past 3 years, I've had 5 major surgeries. I can't get help. Trying to pay my bills, trying to get what I need to keep my home is the stress, the anxiety, the depression, the hurt from trying to get help and everybody turn you away. You know what? That'll lead you to a Widowmaker.
Yeah.
There's
no doubt that
mental.
And then I had to, I survived that, no medication, doing well. And then all of a sudden my heart starts going into AFib. Stress, anxiety, and depression did it again. So everything affects your health. It really does.
Yeah.
Andrew, Headlocks, Heels, and Having left a comment saying you could speak things into existence. Andrew, would you also concur with that statement?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm a big believer in things that you speak out loud, whether they be positive or negative, will affect how your life happens. Okay, because every one of us experiences the positives and negatives as we go through life.
Yeah.
And what is that saying? Life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. Something like that.
The book. Absolutely. It's an amazing book.
Yeah, and it's true.
Yep.
It's true. The only thing you can control is how you react to things that are happening to you. You can't control some of the things that are happening to you.
Yep.
And J-Mac leaving a comment, Proverbs 18:21, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits.
Here's another little thing that I found about how powerful our words are. Japanese, I don't know what his nationality is, doesn't matter, but he started taking photos of water crystals before and after you speak to them. And the photos, like if you speak evil to it, it's this just disgusting blob of nasty. But that same water, you say the word God to it, and it's this amazing, beautiful crystal. So and please look it up. Don't take my word for any of it, but just look up photos of water crystals, and it'll change your mind about water, because I literally pray over my water before I even drink it. And with that being said, the thing you got to think about with that, if you're sitting there with a glass of water and you're listening to hardcore, nasty rap music, to me it is, that's going to affect the water that you're about to drink and then put in your body. And our bodies are made of how much water? So everything affects the body, even music.
Let's open that up to Pastor Gavin and Andrew. What are your guys' thoughts on not just what we consume in terms of food and stuff, but in terms of entertainment that we watch on TV or music that we're listening to? Does that also affect our health, both physical, mental, spiritual? Does it affect all three or just one? What are your guys' thoughts?
Good, Andrew.
Yeah, on the physical aspect of things, I mean, I used to be a gym rat, just to let you guys know. And I've been to gyms where they were blasting heavy metal, hardcore stuff, whether you like it or not, it was blasting. Physically wise, the guys who were really into it, I mean, they had muscle upon muscle upon muscle. So physically speaking, I don't think it matters one way or the other what you listen to. Mentally, yeah, it can come back on you. But if you like that kind of music, if it motivates you and puts you in a better mood, then I say go for it. Now, when you get into the nasty stuff or and I don't want to focus just on rap music, because there's heavy metal music that does the same thing as well. When you start putting down, we're talking negatively, for instance, toward the ladies, and we're not going to use any kind of language, but we all know what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
That stuff, I don't think there's any place for it. I don't like that kind of stuff whatsoever. And the people who want to listen to it, great. I just choose not to. I do think it really affects your overall presence and how you present yourself to others as well.
Okay, Pastor Gavin?
Yeah, well, one thing that I came to realize years ago that's had an impact on me is that, like, once something is in your brain, in your mind, it's there forever. You might not be able to control the final result, but it's there forever. So, like, I realized, man, I want to be careful what I allow into my mind. You know, I want to listen to and think on good things. And like if I'm feeding my mind with garbage, then my thoughts are going to be garbage. I want to, kind of like with your body, you want to eat good, nutritious food. I want to, like, there's some things I don't even want them into my mind or into my brain. I don't even want to see them, because I want to think on good things and things that are true, honest, just, pure, lovely, and of good report, and virtuous things and praiseworthy things. You know, mainly because I want to please God in my thoughts. But But also, I want to think the right things and think on good things. So what you feed your mind ultimately will affect, like, how you think and your thought patterns.
I would also agree a little bit with that too. When I was in high school, especially and stuff, especially Jason knows this probably because he was around a little bit in high school. But I used to listen to a lot of rap stuff. Very, very, very not Christian music, very not good music. Not just rap. There was some rock I used to listen to. I mean, there's a band and it's very blasphemous just in its name called Godsmack. That was one of my favorite bands at the time. Now, if I hear one of their songs, I don't even like it. I don't even want to hear it because of what they're saying, because of what the song is about. So I do think that what the song is about can affect your overall brain and what you're thinking about and your mood as well. Now, does that mean that you can't put on some rap music that isn't talking about those denigrating or degenerating things? That's fine. I like listening to rap. Rap's a good type of music if you want to dance or move to. But it's about what the context of the music, I think, matters. Just like with your TV, just with what you're consuming on TV. I think that also matters. What are you consuming and what are they saying? I don't really care. Since getting closer to the Lord, I haven't really cared for shows that are highly blasphemous. On the other hand, one of my favorite shows is Deadwood, and they say highly blasphemous words in there. JC, they take the Lord's name in vain through the whole series, but I still enjoy the series, and that's because that's, for me personally, I know that they changed it and they added those words specifically to try and not make it more racially biased towards other people and stuff like that. So I can understand why they did that in terms of the writing, because it's not very historically accurate to the time frame either. But most things that are highly blasphemous and are intentionally doing it as an intentional thing, I've even stopped watching or turned off as well. So I do partially agree with that. What you consume can affect not just your mood, but your brain and what you're thinking about and all of that stuff. So. Oh, we got headlocks. Let's get headlocks back into the conversation here. Ephesians 4:29 states, "Let no unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen." That's excellent, J-Mac. That's an excellent scripture for exactly what we're trying to talk about here. So,
I want to show you guys this real quick. I brought up a photo of these water crystals. I don't know if you can see what it says at the top of them.
Yeah.
But
I saw a portion of a video. I think it's the same guy you're talking about.
Japanese.
The matter seemed to respond to, words.
That's interesting.
On a microscopic level. Yeah.
Right. Well, think about your body is 70% water. So that's why, and there's a really good example. With some music makes you feel better. Some music don't. And what you were saying, Jonathan or JD, I have not been able to watch. The Holy Spirit has taken the desire for me to watch anything that's not biblically based or a true story. No desire for any of it. That's what the Holy Spirit's doing for you.
And comics.
I only watched that for the show, so I knew what I was talking about. But now that's actually quite interesting because the opening of it, I could not watch it. I was like, no. And literally I get up and ended up writing for 4 hours. I sat down and watched it, and it never even caught my attention until Vision said, "He is, I am." They asked who he was, and he said, "I am." That's a biblical reference. And then I started seeing biblical references throughout the rest of the movie. So...
But that goes to show you that you can find entertainment and find things, signs and that stuff in good things. That it's not, there are good things out there. There is good entertainment. There is good music to consume.
So, yeah.
All right, Andrew, do you want to throw in anything here?
No, you guys are doing a great job covering it all. Absolutely.
So I have a question for Andrew. Okay, so I know, Andrew, like if you're working out real hard and the next day your muscles are sore, that's a lactic acid buildup.
DOMS.
But if you're So like sometimes I'll be working real hard
Mm-hmm.
and my shoulder, the next day will hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And like if I go to lift it up, man, that hurts. So what is that? And what's a good way should I keep lifting it up anyway, even if it hurts or
That
what?
there's
What do you think?
there's two kinds of hurt.
Yeah.
And one is called DOMS, which is an acronym. It stands for delayed onset muscle soreness. Basically, that I call that the funny hurt. So, for instance, excuse me, let's say you do squats or curls or something, and then the next day where you sit down and you get back up, or you're trying to lift your arms and you can just feel your muscles, and you're like, oh my God, that hurts, and you're chuckling because it hurts. So that's basically your muscles saying, hey, what did you do to me yesterday? For me, it happens 2 days later, but most people it happens the night before or the day after. The other kind is a painful hurt, like, oh my God, and then you're gonna cry. Oh, sorry guys, you're gonna cry when you say it. They go, oh wow, that's painful, that hurts. So when you say you lift your arm, I don't know what kind of hurt you're talking about. Is the one that you're laughing because like, oh, ouch, that shouldn't be happening to me.
Yeah, the ouch kind. Yeah.
Then you gotta don't. I'm not a doctor, and I don't claim to be one, but if it's the ouch kind that really hurts and you don't laugh, that's not a good thing. So you don't want to keep doing that. You don't want to work through that, so to speak. That's a pain, and you don't want to work through that.
It does go away, like, the next day or a couple of days later. But is it okay to stretch? Yeah, is it okay to stretch?
Oh, I'm a firm believer of stretching. Absolutely, I'm a firm believer in stretching.
So, like, if your shoulder aches, would that help to stretch it? And do you think that's a good idea?
It's not a universal answer there, because stretching it, because if you have a torn ligament or torn muscle or something, stretching it is not going to help it. So it's not a universal answer. I can't answer that without getting more information. And if you're feeling that kind of pain, that's something that you want to talk with your doctor about. And I know we're all guys here and we're stubborn. We said, well, we'll work through that pain. We are. That's just nature for us. We'll just work through it. I mean, I've done it.
Yeah. We all grew up during that time too, where are you bleeding? How bad are you bleeding? Is it gushing? Oh, well, if it's not gushing, you're
rub some dirt on it. Rub some dirt on it. What the heck?
Yeah. Your leg hurts. Is it wobbling? Is it hanging there, or does it just hurt? Well, if it's not wobbling and hanging there, walk it off.
Yeah, rub some dirt on it. Exactly.
Well, rub some.
Here's what I will say, and what you said. And the reason is because I've already had 6 shoulder surgeries, and they want to, depending on which doctor, they want to replace both of mine because of the severity of the damage. What I have learned is I got to have back surgery, but I can still bend over and put my hands flat on the floor. Does it hurt? Absolutely. But what I have learned is that if I stop moving, I've seen too many people do that, and then they're done. So I would highly recommend, with what you're saying, get it checked out. But yeah, that's not something to mess around with.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Especially when it comes to your shoulders. Believe me, I know. I just added my shoulders to my physical therapy because my range of motion was not what it has been. So that's why when I went to my doctor, I said, "Listen, I want to expand. It's been going great for my hips. I'm getting range of motion, strength building. That's great, but now it's time for my shoulders. I don't really have pain in there, but I also can feel stiff. Like I'm starting to feel stiffness and stuff. I'm like, let's get rid of that. So it's been great working on my shoulders and my hips at the same time. So
I'd like to say one thing that one of the many benefits I found with the carnivore lifestyle of eating is that I have virtually no inflammation in my body whatsoever. And I take no pain pills for the pain that I deal with. And when I go see the doctors, they're like, wait a minute, something's not right here. We don't see people with injuries like this come walking in here like they're not in any pain at all. What's going on? I said, well, I only got 2 answers: prayer and my diet. There's no other way I can possibly explain why my left shoulder is hanging out of the socket and I can do all this. Does it hurt at the moment? No, but there are times when it's just hanging there. So like right before this, I was about ready to start crying in the kitchen my shoulder clear down into my hand was hurting so bad. So diet, I'll go back to diet being everything. It helps it all.
Diet and exercise. It helps you
Stay moving.
Holy moly. I just had a tornado siren go off down the road.
Oh my goodness.
That's
Oh,
interesting.
ain't no good.
So the weather's hitting you too.
Yeah, we're supposed to get some weather coming in, but I'm not seeing any darkness around. So.
Well, if we lose you, we know what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get in the bathtub.
You need to bounce. Do you need to bounce? Do you want to get out of here?
Heck no.
Yeah, that's
your
like
time to go. It's your time to go, right?
Yeah. All right. So I was about to take us off on a tangent. Let's not do that because it has nothing to do with the topic of conversation here.
So, Andrew, I wanted to ask you.
I'm looking out the windows. Go ahead. I'm listening.
There's a sign behind you. I can't quite read it. What does that say?
It says Top Fitness Strategies. That's the name of my company, Top Fitness Strategies.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'll give everybody links to everything so that way you can find everybody and follow them and all that stuff. They're also in the description of this episode. So if you want to follow anybody, go do it. That means Pastor Gavin. Pastor Gavin's on YouTube. This is a perfect segue here into giving everybody another plug. Pastor Gavin's on YouTube. He has his own channel.
There we go.
Go check it out.
Fitness Strategies. There you go.
Andrew Poletto has Top Fitness Strategies. That's on YouTube and on Facebook, I think. And then, of course, Popcorn and Whiskey is also on YouTube, and he airs that on his own personal public page, Andrew Poletto on Facebook. And of course, Jason is our newest team member, and his series is going to debut Tuesday, June 23rd, probably at about 8 p.m. So is when I'll actually end up releasing it. So make sure you go check that out. We also have several viewers tuning in at the moment. So it's a perfect time to also plug the storefront one more time. You can go and get yourself some apparel from the storefront, bonfire.com/store/the Boiling Point Podcast, and pick up some apparel, especially our Constitution apparel. I think that's one of my favorites. J-Mac wants to know if you're in Eastern PA, Andrew.
J-Mac knows where I live.
I don't know what he's thinking there.
I live in Indiana, South Central Indiana. Yeah, right next to the Illinois border.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah, he's from Illinois or in Indiana. I'm sorry.
I'm Indiana. He's from Kentucky.
Yes, he's from Kentucky. And Andrew and I have been friends now for what? It's been a little over a year and a half.
A little over a year and a half. Yeah.
I saw a post on his page, or he posted in a group or something, just saying, "Hey, I'm looking for some guests on my show." So I sent him a message, and I was like, "Hey, man, I'll come on your show." And that's everything else is history.
Yeah,
we do each other's shows now pretty regularly. And Andrew's now been on both brands.
Just to let you guys know, the alarm is off. The alarm just went off.
That's good.
Either it went off because it stopped, or it went off because the tornado took it out. I don't know.
Well,
okay.
Either way, prayers for
either way it
stopped up there. Yeah, hopefully no one was injured or anything up there with the tornadoes. This is tornado weather, so everybody be careful. Especially Wolfman. I don't know if he's tuned in. Wolfman with Mayhem Media. Give him a shout out. He has heavy bad storms every other day, so hopefully everybody's safe tonight. Yeah, J-Mac, you definitely had a little brain infarction there, as you, because he's definitely not in Eastern PA. Yeah, and you guys have talked about where he's from, so that's definitely
yeah. I went to college in Crown Point, Indiana.
Oh my word! Which college?
Crown Point, Hiles Anderson College.
I don't know that one. No.
Yeah. So yeah.
You're up there in the region then. Yeah.
Yeah, Crown Point. And then I worked in Illinois at Prairie State College there.
Oh, wow. And for those who don't know, Crown Point is right next to Hammond, where the new Indiana Bears are going to be playing in.
Are they?
Yeah, the Indiana Bears. Yep, that was who was ready for that one? Not me. But one of the original teams in the NFL changing cities. That was something.
It's a whole other podcast there, my friend.
Yeah, that's a whole other podcast. We're on the wrong brand for that one. purple toad. I don't know what he means by that, but I think that went to what you guys were talking about in one of your episodes, right?
Yeah,
Andrew, when he came on your show the other night.
Exactly.
So Andrew Poletto, the Popcorn and Whiskey, he comes on every Friday and Saturday nights most times. Pastor Gavin is probably the most consistent podcaster of the group. Every single Sunday morning or Saturday night, actually, releases them Saturday night. He will release his sermons on his YouTube channel. Oh, there's only about 2 times a year that he does not have one to post. And then there might be 1 or 2 weeks where he asks me to post it after he's shot it. But 50 weeks out of the year, Pastor Gavin is putting up his sermons. So go check him out. And he also has them up for like the last, 8 or 9 years now, Pastor? You have?
I think I started in 2020.
Did you? Okay, so we started. Oh, that's right. You
Wait, no, I mean, wait, yeah.
Yeah, you started a few months before me, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
So because then we started in August of 2020. So I believe Pastor Gavin's been going since April or May of 2020 was actually when he started. So he's got his whole library up there. Make sure you go check that out. And because Headlocks, Heels, and Havoc reached out to us and commented several times, we'll give him another shout out. Go check them out, especially for wrestling content, especially for WWE content. If any of my Mayhem Media fans are tuned in right now, it's going to be a little while until Connor's return, to be specific, until we're back to covering WWE. Wolfman and I are going to AEW. So sorry to burst everybody's bubble. And of course, Jason's new show, I think I might have already said it, but let me say it again. Tuesday, June 23rd is when that debuts. His show will be releasing every 2 weeks. Pastor Gavin has a mini series called Defeating Diabetes. We haven't chosen a date for that to actually release yet, but that'll be out every week because it's only a mini series. I believe it's only 5 or 6 episodes. So we're going to release that every week. Oh, well, they're not just WWE. I apologize, Headlock. Sorry, J-Back. They're not just WWE. They do talk about other stuff. Tune in to Mayhem Media for AEW shows, and then go watch Headlocks for the WWE stuff.
And just to keep with the theme of this live stream podcast, Top Fitness Strategies is my YouTube page. That's where I talk about men's health and fitness over there. Just look up Top Fitness Strategies or just type in my name. You'll find me. Same thing with my YouTube page, TFS-Fitness over there.
Yep. Make sure you go follow them and tell them that the Boiling Point Podcast sent you. You can go check out Headlocks, Heels, and Havoc and tell them the Boiling Point Podcast sent you. That's a weird phrase to say. I'm usually saying that with Mayhem Media, so that was weird. It's weird when the lines start to get blurred. I think that's where we're gonna end this episode, unless anybody else has any final points they'd like to touch on or hit on.
No, I just hope and pray everybody gets some good info out of this and they start putting some stuff into practice and changing your lives.
And I hope this is a popular episode. It was a lot of fun to put this together and to sit back and watch these guys, all 3 of these guys, discuss their different point of views and what they bring to the health and fitness conversation. So I appreciate them all. Go follow them all on Facebook, YouTube, or wherever else they are. And until next time, I am your host, the Razor Ramon of podcasting, the bad guy, JD. And this is not the end, only the beginning.